Yep. So the fact that I lost my following, maybe now I could be a good one.
Right, and I'm very fortunate in the way that I'm larger because I don't just touch on crypto. Crypto's kind of like one of the minor topics I talk about. It's just something that overlaps with cybersecurity. But it's amazing where things are going. I actually now have I actually just paid my lawyer in crypto for some documents that I need to get done because I straight up went to them and I'm like, look, I don't have the cash right now. Can you take Litecoin? And they're like, we haven't been asked that, yes, but yes.
That is hilarious. So another thing I wanted to have you pitch, because I haven't talked to Nima yet, and so if you're in that Discord group, so I
Yeah.
got a house in California. It's in between San Diego and LA. It's by Disneyland, Orange County. And so it's a
Mhm.
7 bedroom house, but I can't like really rent it to anyone because what happened is one of my properties caught on fire, so the insurance is reimbursing me for the house.
Oh,
And I wanted to create like a TikTok house because I have all these extra bedrooms that I'm not using. And I wanted to get TikTok creators to agree to come out here maybe for like a weekend or something, and then we could all collaborate in person. But
that's
yeah, I can send you a
interesting.
YouTube walkthrough. It's
Let
on.
me
Go
let me
ahead.
get the ear of Nima, and I will just tell him, hey, this is my buddy. Look into him because I at least have his ear to advise on things. Like I'm the person that like tends to go to him and say, these are the creators I like. Look into them. Because as you probably noticed, there's an ocean of bullshit to sift through.
Yeah. But it would just be really cool too to get this thing concept going because I know they do it in LA, but it's like, usually cute girls or like, just weird, thing. This one would be more of like financial people. And once
Mhm.
again, what's nice is if you fly to LAX, like flights are super cheap, but I think it's like 45 minutes from LAX, or if you're really lazy, it's John Wayne Airport, SNA. It's like 10 minutes
Okay.
away. So, like for
Yeah, I
example, I flew to
have something.
Miami to LA and it was $99. So it's like really cheap right now too to fly. So yeah, it would just be cool to get like a couple of content creators all to agree to come out to California because we have nice weather. And yeah, I would love to host you guys for like a weekend or something. So that way at least, we all meet in person once and then, maybe it becomes something bigger. But if not, it's just something I do temporarily.
So you're actually touching on something I've been wanting to do for a while. Is basically I kind of let Zombie know about this because we kind of have our own little chats amongst ourselves with like the good creators and such. That I wanted to kind of make a group of people that are experts, but not like the hey buy this crypto type, but this is what we're looking into crypto wise. These are the pros and cons. Just give a full analysis of it, but not do the whole like hype that you see with a lot of creators because
Or
so
greed. Greed. I
this
see a
is one
lot of greed.
greed is a big issue, and the issue that I have is so cybersecurity guys, we are very, very deep into ethics because of the background that we have. So the problem with that, if you want to call it that, is I have to be mindful of where I'm standing because look, I'll be honest. If you looked at my earlier content, I made a lot more shitpost content than I did now. Because now it's like I had to be mindful of where my position is, that I couldn't just go and troll people for fun things. So I'm like, I'm no longer a small creator that can have a little bit of fun. Because the issue is, and I've already noticed this, some people take things a little bit too seriously from other creators. Like you see what I refer to often as purple tech, which are IT people, not IT people, but like computer builders that think they know about computers, that give advice about computers, that ends up breaking computers, that I end up going and fixing professionally.
That is hilarious.
Zombie says, today I found out I'm a cybersecurity guy by fundamentals. So actually, Zombie, believe it or not, you more or less are, because this is one thing people don't consider. Cybersecurity isn't just about can you get in a terminal, can you run these programs or anything. It also has to do with physical access and the operational security thereof around it. So it's like, as long as you're mindful of even the practices, yeah, you're a cybersec guy.
So, can I get you as one of the first large creators to agree to this concept to come to California? Where are you located, by the way?
I am in Ohio, but I'm a
Okay.
frequent flyer pre-pandemic. Like, I have a passport, will travel. I'm not afraid of it. I used to live in
Go
Israel,
Buckeyes.
Germany. I used to live in Maui and Texas. So, before the pandemic, I was literally like, clients would call me up for technologists to research their stuff on 3D printing, anything like that. I was the guy that scared Mark Forged at the 2016 CES when they brought a metal 3D printer and they're talking about all these applications. And I'm literally right behind me is a laser engraver working on an AR lower receiver in Vegas. And I looked at him and I said, you realize what you're right across from and what this printer can make, right? And apparently I was the first person to make the connection at the show to him.
I don't think I contacted your realtor yet, so sorry about that one. But okay, that's really, really cool. And then once again, do you have any interest in going to Bitcoin, the Bitcoin convention in Miami in April? Because I know I talked to Party Finance and we're gonna go, and I was gonna see if there's any other creators interested in going to Miami.
It's on my to-do list, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of in the middle of a possible crypto mining and staking operation. A data center locally near me tapped my shoulder and said, hey, we're looking at doing this, and we already have a long-standing relationship with you. So I don't know how long that's going to take, and that takes priority, of course, because two hands in the bush. What is that? Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. But the Miami conference is definitely on my to-do list. It's just one of those, every time I plan to go on it, there's another business opportunity.
I see. Okay. Well, another thing I will offer is that I actually have a place in Miami that I've secured. So if you need, I may not be able to get you a bedroom, but if you need a couch to crash in South Beach, I might be able to locate that too. So.
Look, I'm 30 years old. I can still manage to, sleep on a futon at this point. Just give me some eccentric.
Dude, I'm the same way, man. I'm like what is it? Like, I guess I have the stoic mindset where it's like, when you have simplicity in your life, you'll just be more happy. So it's like, I don't need the nice hotel. I don't necessarily need the nice bed. So it just makes...
I'm the same way. It's like, if you looked at my car and anything I have, it's like people look at my house, it's like, your nicest stuff is your tech, and literally everything you have is being used, or there's a backup for it. Like, yep, that's all I need.
Exactly. But this would be really cool. Like I said, if I can't get people to come to California, I mean, if I have to meet in Miami, that's fine. But I would like to say that, like, Nerd Finance, which is another creator, he got me into this like Zoom call they do, but it's not that often. And it's basically a bunch of TikTok creators that have over 100,000 followers. We just do like a Zoom call. There's like 8 of us. And it's literally the best thing. It's the best thing in the world because like it feels kind of like a union or like, the Actors Guild, the Screen Guild. And you guys can share information. We talk about like what works, what doesn't work. And I really enjoy it, but we've never met in person. And I kind of want to create that because I think that when it comes to content creators, these platforms are not necessarily our friends. And if we come together and create, the kind of groups that you're talking about, I think that is the way to do it. And then, I really do feel like you got to go cross-platform. I think I'm one. Yeah. Because like what's crazy is in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten over 1 million views on Facebook. I've gotten over 1 million views on, YouTube. And all I do is I just stitch other people's content. So it just shows that like this
making a Facebook account again just to, do for stuff like that because
so make it a business. Let me give you some advice. It shouldn't be a personal account. You want a okay.
I make a personal account to host the page and I deleted my Facebook.
Okay.
So I got to create and all that, which it's not an issue because at least now it's like, hey, the only data you have of me is some random dude. So but yeah, I totally agree with you. You need to go cross-platform because TikTok is quite restrictive in many regards. Plus, the issue is that the accessibility of the content for my followers isn't the greatest. Whereas in YouTube, I can, say, hey, Chief live streamed on this day and played Doom and was talking about this topic. I can scrub through it and I can find where he was talking about this point. Something like that. And to your point on going cross-platform, the honest truth is, if TikTok keeps going the way they are, I don't see them really lasting much longer than 5 years.
Exactly. And as the creators come together, I feel like we can then negotiate and we're not going to be beholden to a platform. I mean, me losing my...
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And I think you and I have the same mindset in that we're networking people. I mean, not IT-wise, but we're networking as in that we like to meet people, we like to build a connection, and we know the...
So come to California. Let me get you to commit to come to California before this big project comes.
Not the issue. It's more just right now with this pandemic, okay. I hate all the people in the airports. That's my big issue.
Yeah, no, I hate traveling, and the only nice thing though is if you do travel is that there's no lines. In the summer it was a joke because there was like shortages and stuff. But my friends that are traveling in the winter, it's actually kind of nice. Like half the plane is empty, and then like once again, like when in your lifetime have you been able to fly across the country for $99? LA to Miami for $99. Like a dinner in LA cost more.
So like, yeah, my dad went to Germany and he was telling me it was a pretty quick flight, and I'm like, the check-in and everything, because we're frequent flyers. Before the pandemic, it was not unheard of for me to get on a plane anywhere from 6 to 12 times a year. So TSA pre-check. I'm literally that guy. Will have every bag and everything figured out the day before, and when I wake up, we're straight at the airport. This is the one great thing about why I actually picked Ohio, because everybody's like, why'd you pick Ohio? Well, I'm a frequent flyer. The 270 belt means I'm within access to the airport within 45 minutes, no matter where I actually live.
So are you Columbus?
I don't have to worry.
What part of Ohio?
Yep.
Okay. By the way, I go every year. My entire family's Ohio State. So, for example, we went to the Rose Bowl. Yeah, dude. Are you diehard Ohio State? Or no?
I'm not diehard Ohio State, but I was born and raised Buckeye, so it's kind of
okay. Yeah, no, my dad is crazy. We went to both national championships, the ones that they lost to. What is it, the 2006 and 2007 or whatever? And it's like my dad is very frugal, except his Buckeyes. He will spend money, so we always go to Ohio at least once a year. He was
God, both you people are so crazy to the point. I've seen one of my buddies is broke as hell, and then one day I came in and he told me he got chairs for the living room. I'm like, what do you mean you got chairs for the living room? The dude actually managed to somehow get the old stadium seats when they did the renovation, and he paid a premium for them. And I'm like, what is wrong with a lazy boy, bro?
Yeah, but now that I know that you're in Columbus, I will probably see you in the fall, because we always go to games in the fall. And then my dad is so crazy, he actually flew to New York and went to the Rutgers game and then went to a home game. So he did a road trip, and he's trying to go to every Big Ten stadium. So we're diehard.
Absolutely, and just in case something happens to your account, we'll also exchange details or something.
I'll give you my number. Yeah, hit me up. And then once again, if you want to talk to some of these creators, I would love to make it a reality. And if we can't meet in person, I don't even mind doing a Zoom call or whatever. But I definitely do want to collaborate, and especially with content creators that are creating good content and actually trying to help people and not scam people, because that's the one thing that really does bother me. And I don't want to talk smack on people that are scammers. What I want to do is just promote people that are honest and have good content.
Exactly. Here's the honest truth. Because of my standing where I'm at, I mind my tongue very well about the people I don't care for.
And that's why you didn't get banned. That's why you didn't get banned, like me.
But also, according to Sun Tzu's Art of War, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, honestly, because as much as I don't like them doing disinformation, I need to keep on top of them. And then what I'll often do is see what they're doing, make notes of it, and stagger it out a few days so they never know who I'm actually talking about directly.
Okay. Good. And then I heard Ohio's great for crypto mining too. So I actually have a friend I want to connect you with.
It's amazing. It is amazing just for data centers, period. This is what a lot of people don't realize. Again, why I picked Ohio. Everybody's like, why Ohio? I'm like, because it makes the most fucking sense for all of IT. Okay, history lesson, because you got to understand why Columbus is so good, because this goes back for decades. We had AT&T Bell Laboratories out here, which designed a lot of the Unix operating system in the 1960s and 70s, to the point that Columbus actually had their own Unix operating system. On top of that, we have the DSCC, the Defense Supply Corporation of Columbus, which, whether you like it or not, military-industrial complex, that means you bring in talent and businesses and everything around it, which then meant that you had an entire industry built around the central Ohio area, which meant that your logistics and everything were built up. On top of that, we have this amazing climate that's definitely friendly towards the data centers, because we have access to running water if you need to cool it through water towers. We have a cooler climate as well, because we're running in the desert. Your AC costs go through the roof. Plus, we have a lot of fiber access, and a lot of that fiber running inside of Columbus is actually mostly owned by a local ISP. From my understanding, Bresco is the biggest owner, owns a huge chunk of the fiber here in Columbus, and is even trying to get access to the dark fiber. So we have access to fiber in many places. Of course, government kind of screws with that a lot. That's a different topic. But yeah, we have a lot of different things. And on top of that, anywhere in Columbus, this is a little known fact, we actually have two power grids. We have the City of Columbus power, and we have AEP. So you can have dual power feeds so that if one goes down, you have the other. But on top of that, so you have your data center, then you have your generator failover. It's like you have this perfect storm of just infrastructure that is opportune for data centers and thus crypto mining. Dark fiber means fiber that's not lit up with any equipment, and all you have to do is, put a laser through it so that you can actually start sending data.
So I'm really glad we had this conversation, because for sure I might have to just make a trip to Columbus myself, because I haven't even told you this. I have family. My uncle even lives in Columbus, and what's hilarious is my dad is wanting to do real estate in Columbus because he's just nostalgic of like being by the campus. And what I would rather him do.
Market here is amazing. Okay, my boyfriend moved from New York to here. The house is real life story, so I'm not going to give too many specifics to dox myself, but my house was, less than 50 when I bought it, because it was one of those foreclosure sweetheart specials. Didn't get to move in for several weeks because there were roaches and all that. You know the story. And then I got that, put about 15 into it, lived in the house for about 5 years. I just refied it for about 110.
Wow, man, that's great. Yeah, so...
And I asked my realtor friends, the MLSs, the houses around me are already like 40, 50, 60, 70 more than when I refied.
Wow.
So it's a great
Believe it.
opportunity. And you have the rural areas as well. Intel's considering making a fabrication facility out here too.
What I was going to pitch to my dad is do something commercial and get like a warehouse and then do the actual crypto mining, find a location that would be suitable. Like, because there's a lot of like industry that's gone bust. I mean, because I've driven around Columbus, like old buildings that are not used. I mean, outside of Columbus then.
I would say yes and no, because yes, it makes sense if you're at scale. If you're starting out, what would be better is
a house
location, which is what we're doing right now, which is that you work with the data center. You own your hardware. You're renting a fiber or copper line from them for the data. You put your own firewalls, your equipment, all that. You get an IT guy, somebody like me to manage it. And then you own your equipment. They maintain it. They insure it, all of that.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, if you haven't met Party Finance, he's actually a big miner in Texas. I feel like you guys would definitely get... Have you ever seen his stuff? He doesn't post that much.
I haven't seen him yet. Am I following you? Let me see your account. Nope, I'm not, but I'm following you now.
Yeah, so he's already mining. I believe he's making over $10,000 a month on his mining operation, and he owns a ton of ASICs. If he's available, he can even show you. I don't know if he's traveling right now, so you can't. But yeah, he's another person that kind of got me interested into mining.
I'm looking at not just doing mining, but staking is definitely where I'm also leaning towards, because we're discussing at the data center a possible Cardano node, maybe Solana validator, things like that. We're just weighing the options. We are looking at mining too, but I think the best approach, especially now if you're trying to get into it, is a diverse pool of mining and staking. Because it's kind of hard to really just put all your eggs in one basket.
Okay, there we go. He's on here, so you guys can make the introduction.
Okay, yeah, I see you got an name.
What's up? Yeah, so these are like all my old ones. I have a bunch of new ones at my facility.
But this is what I love about the networking, is because you're totally right. It's like, if you put it all together, the right pieces, that's how you basically get, that's how business works. It's not really not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly, because I can only do so much. It's like the same thing that happened with the data center. They were in the situation of, we have the money and the resources, but not the knowledge. And I'm like, I have the knowledge, but not the resources and the money. There you go.
And like I said, I come in with a real estate perspective, so I understand my circle of competence. So like, if you ever want to get into like owning the properties and doing that stuff, and it seems like that's maybe 5 or 10 years down the line, that's great. But yeah, when it comes to like technology, I know my place. It's like, you know what? Like, let the doctor operate, because I'm definitely not a doctor.
Exactly. It's like, I know about IT and things that are adjacent to IT, like electrical, HVAC, plumbing, stuff like that. But I know my limits to know when to pull somebody in. But I will be honest and say that I'm kind of I can't say the 4-letter word that starts with N, but a compliance, NA. So I make sure
put it together.
I make sure that everybody, is on board, because, with cybersecurity, as I tell everybody, you have to be right every time. They only have to be right once.
And so I let Canna on too. I do a lot of live streams. He wanted to, you said you wanted to ask him some questions, Chief, right, Canna? I guess he can't hear me.
I can hear you.
He's having tech problems. No worries. But yeah, I'm really glad we were able to do this live stream. And once again, there you go. Now he's on. You said you had some questions you wanted to ask Chief, Canna? He's having tech difficulties again. You might need to rejoin. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Keep trying. But what else was I gonna say? But yeah, just keep me in the loop. And then yeah, like I said, if you want to talk to, I've always wanted to do a live with Nima. If you yeah, just let me know if you talk to him. And then what I'll do is after this live stream too,
Nima's a hard guy to pin down time-wise because he's over in Germany.
Oh, but I saw him in America. I thought he comes to America, right? Or no?
He does once in a while, but he mostly is based out of Germany.
I see. Okay. I thought, yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't blame him. I love Germany.
For sure. All right, I got another guest too. I don't know if you've met him. He's actually a CPA, and he's like guru, non-fungible cats. Have you met him before?
I don't believe I have. How's it going, buddy?
What's happening, man? Yeah, I'm a CPA, but yeah, I love your content, Chief, because even though I'm a CPA, I'm actually what I deal more with is accounting software consulting. So I work with a lot of system administrators, managed service providers. So real huge into like the whole data security, information security. Accountants work hand in hand with information security professionals in those aspects. And in my humble opinion, the modern accountant that does not have some sort of background in data security, information security, they're about to be a dinosaur. They should really be at the forefront of working with their CTO and being like, I want to have control over this system, some sort of ownership. But unfortunately, oftentimes they don't.
Yeah, the other issue I'm finding a lot, and this has just been kind of historically speaking with CPAs, is we kind of run into a lot with CPAs kind of trying to manage their own IT. And it's one of those situations of it's like you only know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know situations. So it ends up being like kind of a headache sometimes to get CPAs to understand to work with IT. I see it's kind of changing, but I wish it would change faster. Because unfortunately, the number one time that we usually start talking to CPAs is after a compromise.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree. The issue is I think a lot of these internal accounting departments, they don't really know who to talk to first. So, like, I'll give a great example. You know, like they'll be used to, we use this software all the time. So the person we're going to contact is the person we're used to talking to about this software, which would be me. And then I have to tell them, like, this is an environmental issue. We need to talk to your IT. And sometimes maybe they have a managed service provider IT, which is going to be very difficult to get a hold of. And, you know, I've messed with you a couple of times on your comments, but the reality is I've worked with a lot of arable managed service providers that, you know, don't know their thumb from their ass, you know, and they have no idea.
Hey, we're on TikTok.
The environment they've set up for their clients, you know, so.
Yeah, we pick them up very often. There's a few vendors in my area that I have on my shit list that basically as soon as I walk in and I see that you're in that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to win this deal. Because the other thing is a lot of MSPs, they overstretch themselves. So what I mean by that is, you can't be a jack of all. You should be a jack of all trades in the regard that you should know everything. But the problem is, MSPs sometimes will be like, "Yeah, we want to do the MSP side. Now we want to do phones." No, stick to MSP. I literally tell people this is one of the reasons why my VoIP guy loves me. Voice over IP is first when we met, he's like, "Do you have any plans to do phones?" I'm like, "I used to deal with Asterisk, PBX, and VoIP systems. I never want to do that again." But,
hello?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Richard Pearl Bucksteiner. Oh, sorry, 1 second, Richard.
You got to take a call? You got to go?
Yeah, guys, I got to take a call here. I got a support call. See y'all.
All right, I'll take it.
Let's see if anyone else wants to join. Okay, we got Canna back on. Let's see if his voice technology will work this time. All right, Canna, What was the question you wanted to ask, Chief? Are you there, Canna? You had a question?
Actually, I think TikTok's being really weird because when I joined, it took me like 2 minutes before I could even hear any of you guys.
Really?
Yeah, TikTok.
Okay.
Really
We'll just leave them on and maybe
funny.
it'll work. Yeah, because I don't
Can
think.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Go for it. What was the question? You had a
Okay.
question you wanted to ask?
It's being nuts.
It's all good.
All good. TikTok's kind of a see you next Tuesday often.
Yeah.
It's funny, Chief. I'm going to date myself, but when I first got to college as a freshman, AT&T was giving the college, God, what were they? 386 or 486 machines with Unix in every single dorm room.
Yeah, so you're talking like what, 80s?
93 actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Like, damn, that's like at the end of Unix.
Yeah. So I want to say they were Windows 95, maybe 90, maybe 3.1 machines with Unix as the core. Oh my God. And we used to send I can't remember the programming now because I'm too old and cocaine's a hell of a drug. But,
Remember, we're on TikTok. We're not on
we would
YouTube.
send like Unix bombs and make someone's computer beep for like hours.
Yeah.
And then like you could turn the computer off, but then as soon as it came back on, if you could get it to go into the BIOS, it would continue beeping from where it left off.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, pranks were fun back then.
Yeah, they didn't hurt anybody. Now you get.
Yeah, it was like back then we had like the viruses, and for the most part viruses, except for that one, I forget what it was. It was like just kind of annoyed you, and like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, my background is in IT and computer security in college.
Okay. Yeah, shit's changed a lot, because I know when I started with my dad, because my dad's got me into it, he was telling me how he had to use punch card computers over at OSU.
So he's a
My
Buckeye.
grandfather was a punch card guy at IBM in New York.
Yeah, my dad literally explained to me what a bug was from the time that he had to reinsert all his cards because a lock got jammed.
Oh, wow.
Like, so many people don't even know that's the origin of where bug came from, was that bugs would literally get on the cards and mess up the reading of the card.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
And then I didn't end up going into the field because, let's see, I graduated 97, interviewed with the feds in 96.
Mm-hmm.
The guy I interviewed with was a notepad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Told me the internet was a fad in 96.
So he was like Paul Krugman trying to cite Metcalfe's law for saying the internet's going to be no more relevant than the fax machine.
Correct.
And yet somehow that guy is the New York Times economist still. You heard when we were shitting on Bitcoin a few years ago too, right? Like,
yeah.
How is that guy giving any credibility? I'm sorry, I don't respect anyone who is a Keynesian.
Exactly, man.
Who's a what?
Keynesian, it's the school of economics.
Infinite money printing.
Yeah, I'm more of a proponent of Austrian economics. Friedrich Hayek is my homeboy.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of them in the Democratic and even in the Republican Party.
Yeah, well, I've been very honest and open where I stand, which is that I tend to be more of the black and gold, but I also don't have any allegiance to any party. I just kind of look at, all right, are you a dick? Okay, cool, you might work out. See you later, zombie.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Zombie. Started with Zombie, man. He was the first guest to come on here. But yeah, if you're available, once again, I do these live streams usually around.
Market cap is buggy as anything today. Ugh.
And I love these live streams. So yeah, I try to do them around 9. So what was it? No, sorry, 7 o'clock California time. So around 10 o'clock your time, but sometimes it goes into later. But I'll message you too, my phone number. I'll give you my cell. And then for sure, we got to do a Buckeye game. You know, we don't have to go to the game. I just want to do the tailgating and the partying. So when I'm in Columbus, you're going to have to come with me. And we're going to have to go on Wayne Avenue.
We'll figure it out because my boy boyfriend's been saying the same thing, and I'm like, I don't want to go with just you and do it. But if we get a nice little group, I can get a few of my friends, we can get a few of your friends, we can have a nice little group together. Because I have a nice, I've been growing interest in crypto out here for quite a while, so I might be able to introduce you to a few other people that might be worthwhile knowing that aren't creators and stuff.
Yeah. So my main background is real estate, and then obviously I like stocks, but I think crypto is what really catches my eye, So
yeah, I pretty much liquidated a lot of my stocks. Well, the ones that were not performing well, I was like, I'm going to take the loss on that, put in crypto. I honestly, I'll be straight up honest. Like, yes, I have the emergency fund, like most people recommend when you're investing, 2 to 3 months. But on top of that, I have like $1,000 fiat emergency fund. But in my budget spreadsheet I have whenever I get my paycheck, the line item for savings really just translates to invests in UST on Luna and deposits it on Anchor.
Yeah, so that's actually what is interesting is a lot of creators don't talk about stable coins. And that's the one thing I've been talking about even before the crash, because I was like, hey, this is an overvalued market. I could be wrong, but why not? Go ahead.
You are right. So let me give you a little story on that. My boyfriend is, a full stack developer. He's actually working on crypto projects for the past few months, and he's been getting paid in crypto. So I was, saying, well, if you're going to be paid in crypto, it's time to introduce you to stable coins. Now, the project he was on Binance Smart Chain. So, of course, I introduced him to Venus Protocol and BUSD. He also learned the lesson of you do not procrastinate or hesitate in crypto. When you get it, go for it. If you think it's better, there's no other saying that is better to crypto than a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And he saw that because, what was it, like, at the time, Binance Smart Chain was about 660, 670 or so, and he's like, I'll put it into Venus tomorrow. Tanked to 570. He just got paid, and then he had to wait like a whole week or so for it to return, and he was like nerve-wracked. He's like, it's going to go down, and did that, and then he learned, I don't care how tired I am, if I have it, deposit to Venus Protocol, and then call it a day. At least you're getting 7% over there.
Exactly. And that's what I try to push crypto newbies, because I don't want them to blow up. And right now it's just we don't know what the market's going to do. So sometimes just waiting and dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, I've been a big proponent of newbies. Like, this is kind of how I tell people to stagger it. Because I tell everyone the great thing about crypto is you can start with as little as $1 if you really want. Okay? So once you get with that, small amount, figure out, I don't care if you have $5, $10, $100, figure out what amount you can set aside for every paycheck. Start considering that as an expense. You want financial freedom? It's an expense. Figure out what you want to put into savings and investing. I tell everyone, try to shoot for 25%, but at least 10%, because everyone's different. Once you start getting your money, instead of just going into like the blue chips, maybe consider going into a stable coin.
Exactly.
And I really love Luna UST. And then once you build past $1,000, so let me back up a sec. Once you get past like the 200, 250 mark is when I tell people you should start considering a hardware wallet, but you should already be learning about operational security. Once you get past the $1,000 mark, that's the time you can diversify. And I kind of say it's a requirement at this point to consider hardware wallets and definitely learning about operational security. Because I see too many people put all their money in one address, and then they sign one wrong contract, there goes 45 grand.
Yep.
So it's like you get Ledger Wallet, for example, you can have as many addresses as you want, and then what you do, you put your long-term holdings in one, you put that in like whatever stablecoin, whatever, you got your hot wallet for another, and then when you're running around doing, just investigation, you got a burner wallet with no money in it. You're going to buy NFTs, put enough money in that wallet just for the NFTs, and then do that for different collections. It gets to be cumbersome because you have so many accounts, but it's on one device.
Yeah. No, that's key. That's key. And I totally agree with you that like in the beginning, because like I always get these questions, I'm sure you get it. It's like, I have $1,000 or I have $5,000. What do I do? And it's like really boring. But what I always tell people, it's like you should put probably 90% of it into stable coins and then dollar cost average, trying to figure out what the market is. But it's like, I feel like a lot of investors, they just YOLO into one trade. Like, oh, I have $500, so I'm just going to put into, Dogecoin. And it's like,
that part is a lot of people see my YOLO YOLO trades, but the thing is, a YOLO trade for me is like, I have $50 for fun money. What do I want to blow it on? Is it going to make or break?
And you have passive income. Just really quick, you have more than $50 of passive income. Your YOLO money should be the same amount as your staking money, right? If you're only getting $50, go ahead.
I'm just saying like $50. Like you go to Vegas, it's the equivalent of putting everything on black. You're gonna maybe win, you're gonna maybe lose. But the problem is there's too many people. Like I have this problem where somebody saw my spreadsheet of like my breakdown of what I had, and they were like, "Should I follow what you're doing?" I said, "No." I got in early. A lot of these coins I would not say to get into now because they've already, kind of peaked, or it's not going to make as much as you want, or, getting in now is going to be a risk. Now, I do say long term, Bitcoin is definitely at least something to at least throw a couple bucks in every time and just don't even touch it. Don't even look at it. Forget you have it. Like, it's going to be worth a lot more down the road. I only use it once in a blue moon for the occasional purchase, like 2600 magazine or such. But
by the way, I don't see a competitor to Bitcoin. Like I see a competitor to Ethereum. I just don't see a legitimate project that will actually challenge Bitcoin maybe in 5 to 10 years. But I feel like the easiest way to make money right now is just buy and hold Bitcoin.
So let me ask the question. Define what you mean challenge Bitcoin and what capacity.
So digital gold, basically the asset that's like not deflationary. There's a fixed supply. There's no creator that can manipulate or make the chain go back. You know what I mean? Like other chains, the creators can roll it back, right?
I don't really see any competitor that is going to displace Bitcoin, at least in the near future. We don't know what's going to hold in the next 3 to 5 years, but for now, at least in the picture as it goes, that's how it's going. People are saying, by the way, when you get a third guest, they can only hear us, so it's kind of buggy when you get third guests, by the way.
And by the way, I got to go in about 5 to 10 minutes to the gym. So if one of you guys wants to host, I can jump on your live stream. And then that way, because they get angry when you drive. So if you do voice only, you don't get in trouble for driving and live streaming.
Yeah, well, it'll be perfect in 5 to 10 minutes or so because I got to get ready for my meeting with the data center anyway.
Okay.
But I saw Zcash and I was like, YOLO's there. I'm like, might as well hop in. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, definitely. I will send you my number. So just text me whenever you're available. I would love to get you back on. And then, if you can network with other creators, I do want to make that creator house I have in California kind of like a dream. I have it for a year. So it'd be cool to just have other creators come and visit me. But if not, whatever.
We'll make stuff happen.
Yeah, I'm really glad you came in here because once again, the other one I want to do a live stream with is the Trade, Invest, Simplify. Have you seen his content?
Not familiar.
Okay, I'll text you or I'll send you one of his things. I want to get him on too. He's not as crypto. Go ahead.
Have you heard of Crypto is Good?
No. See, yeah. So if you can introduce me.
Although he's an actual developer for some NFT projects and such. He's a really good stand-up dude. We talk in the back end. He's working on a few other things I'm not going to talk about. That's his business to talk about, but he's a good dude. I would keep tabs on him as well.
Is 10 a.m. good? You're so what is that? 10 a.m. your time. Is that a good time to live? I feel like we should try to set up maybe a once a week kind of live stream and get these different guests on here to talk.
I work from home, so it's like a yes or no. It's just one of those times like right now. It's
once a week though.
Yeah, we can figure something out. I mean, even
Saturday or Sundays, because I usually get more viewers. And then the busiest, I forgot to tell you, is what I've noticed is the most you're going to get activity is actually 5 p.m. your time because you're Eastern. I feel like that gets actually the most. That's like the prime time, but I'm usually busy.
So I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So like anytime outside of those, you can pretty much get me down.
Okay, so maybe we do something at 5 p.m. your time. And once again, if you have the ability to get other guests on, because I just don't want my live streams to be an echo chamber. I still get like the same people on here. And like after a while, we run out of things to talk about. So that's the thing I love about TikTok.
We'll get others. I'm trying to get some of my other friends who are, they're
and people that are against us. Like if I can get you on with Nerd Finance, like it's hilarious. He's like an MBA student, but he works in securities, and he's totally still anti-crypto.
That'll be as fun as one of my best friends who I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. I'm going to send you his profile because he does crypto content, but he also does like funny content too. We're trying to get him to 1,000 so he can do lives with me. He does game with me every now and then.
Okay, awesome.
The reason why, he just recently had he had a family dinner and found out like one of the relatives is dating an editor at the Wall Street Journal, and he hates Bitcoin, and he had to have an hour-long conversation with him.
Nice.
Like, he told me the most amazing thing about that was when he's talking about, like, oh, yeah, I'm investing and all this. He's like, hey, what are you investing? He's like, well, I do stocks and all that. But really what I've been putting most of my money and getting the best returns out of is cryptocurrency. He's like, my God, you should have seen the color just drain out of his face right then.
Yeah, well, there's Nerd. If you want to give him a follow too, there he is. But yeah, he's still like I said, it's weird because TikTok is kind of an echo chamber. He's the only content creator I know that's still skeptical of crypto, and I still want to get like he's like the Peter Schiff. I want to get the Peter Schiffs on here because I always like to hear opposing views. Like I don't know. Like for me, I don't want to be an echo chamber.
What I think also that a lot of the business people are missing is the ethical arguments as well as the understanding of the entire the economical environment and monetary system around everything. They're getting cracks right now. So it's kind of like you're seeing this shift again like we had many, many years ago before we shifted to fiat from, metals.
Gold, yeah.
And I think that's happening again.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. So, and what's crazy is the transparency, because it's like we will never know how many dollars are circulating and we don't have any control. It's like whatever the Federal Reserve wants to do. And the same with metals is like we don't know how much is going to get mined or how much we're going to uncover. But like Bitcoin and like these digital currencies, that are transparent, you're going to know how much is there, who are the whales that are moving it. You can look at the wallet addresses. So it's just there's a lot more transparency than compared to even like the stock market.
Right, like I've been doing the experiments lately, just for my own understanding on cybersecurity. What it would take to fully anonymize a crypto wallet, and it's not the same thing as it's easier to hide a conventional bank account than a crypto account because
or
you
cash.
Have to do so much to not mix them. It's like you can leave fingerprints everywhere, and it's like the forensic ability to catch things. I mean, whether we're talking about a myriad of illicit activities. Like, imagine if we were to attach this to trying to stop trafficking. You could literally tag the money, unless you're talking about privacy coins. But even privacy coins have their faults if you're not following OPSEC.
Yeah, and unfortunately, people, there's no way to track cash. There's no way to track gold. So, like, if you are a drug dealer and you're doing shady activities, it's way better to transaction cash and gold.
So let me put it this way. I've done IT for many people, and I've been in situations where when I'm doing a job, you kind of put the pieces together, and you're like, there's something else going here, but I don't want to ask questions because I want to walk out of here alive, So I would, let's just say there's a lot of cash-based businesses that you start raising eyebrows, and it makes it all the more clear why they're cash-based. Because literally,
Bingo.
what's the sale?
Bingo. Facts.
It's a beautiful world, and the amazing part right now is I remember when I started in crypto. God, it's hard to say this. I started about a decade ago when I was interested. People were laughing at me. Now the shawarma shop that I go to all the time, I walked in a year after the pandemic started when they finally took dine-in, and they're like, hey, I remember you. You're the guy that asked us if we took Bitcoin years ago. I should have bought it when you told me about it.
What's interesting is I have a friend that made a lot of money and decided not to bring it into the US. He just left it on random KuCoin wallets. And he says now whenever he travels anywhere in the world, he basically doesn't have to pay for traveling because he just goes to random Bitcoin ATMs and just pulls out fiat. And he's like, I go to America, I can pull out dollars. I go to, Europe, I can pull out euros. And he's like, this is the most amazing thing. And I'm not going to get taxed.
Yeah. And the nice thing is for me, I'm not the most wealthy in crypto, but that's because I cashed up most of my crypto when it peaked around 1,400, 1,500 because I bought a house. I was renting an apartment. I think anybody will understand. You're at a certain point where you're like, fuck landlords. I want a house. You're willing to do whatever you need to do. Yes.
And now you're building up wealth. And I think that when it comes to investing, diversification is key. Because right now I'm about 70% real estate, 20% stocks, 10% crypto. But I see a future. And by the way, the reason I have this house is because one of my houses caught on fire. is I believe in diversification. And by the way, dealing with insurance companies is such a pain in the ass that I don't even know if yeah, so I don't even know if I want to continue down that real estate route of 70 or 80% real estate. I think I'm looking at a future where I'll be like 33% crypto, 33% stocks, and maybe 33% real estate. And I think the best way to get
looking at.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, the best way to get into real estate is, I think, crypto and stocks. Like what I recommend, depending on where you live, is maybe you set a goal. I need to get to like 100 grand or 50 grand of crypto and stocks, and then you can use that as a down payment to get into the property or whatever. Go ahead.
Agreed. And when crypto ETFs really start taking place, when the SEC can stop fucking with us, they will be amazing, because that will mean the average person can actually invest in crypto in a less risk-averse way. Because the issue is that, a lot of people, to get into crypto now, you have to have knowledge of it. And the problem where a lot of people are losing money is they don't have the knowledge of it. So as you say, they YOLO into it. So what's the typical pattern of a new crypto investor? They learn about crypto, they throw their money into this one thing, hoping they're going to get rich. They lose their money. That's their first lesson. And they either say, I can't do that again, or crypto fucking sucks. And that's the MO. You have a crypto ETF where you have somebody like me and you sitting down and having a portfolio of, a mixed bag of assets that we wait out for them. And they literally just say, one share of, crypto privacy coin maxi, makes it easy for everybody. Then they have like say you want a metaverse ETF, you got your pool of metaverse coins. You want a privacy coin ETF, you got your pool of Pivx, Monero, and whatever. You want a stable coin ETF, that's the cool thing. Is I was explaining to somebody, imagine if you don't like a single stable coin, but you want to hedge your bets because of like the USDT thing, a stable coin ETF that'll be stable.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
So the way I went around it is that I have basically an IRA, and I have the health savings account, the HSA. And so the way I invest in crypto, and this may not be the best strategy, but it's the easiest, is I just buy MicroStrategy, because I just like the YOLO Bitcoin. So that's the way I try to even tell my parents, because my parents do not want to open up a digital wallet. I was just like, hey, buy MicroStrategy. And that's actually how I got my dad to finally invest in some sort of crypto, is MicroStrategy. And what's nice about owning MicroStrategy over Bitcoin is, if you do see my content, I borrow against my stocks. And I'm able to borrow with 75% leverage, because you can borrow, I borrowed against my Ethereum, and it's only 25% 25% leverage. So if I just buy MicroStrategy, I can get the 75, so it's 3 times the amount of leverage, and it's at 1%. So it's pretty cheap.
That's a pretty good deal. I'm right now in a weird position because I'm still a W-2 employee, but I want to stay with my company that I'm employed by, because good benefits, all that for now, at least while I build up my own thing. But I'm also in the middle of making my own LLC to pull my resources into, which then, as my attorney let me know, opens up the opportunities to HSAs and other investment opportunities.
So the best thing you can do, and I'm doing this right now, my real estate companies used to just sit on cash. We own these properties, we collect rent, and then it would sit in Bank of America and get zero. Your LLCs can actually own crypto and stocks. And what's amazing is that personally, you can only deduct $3,000 a year. But if you have an LLC, it's unlimited. So what's amazing is that, I used to invest in real estate for the tax deductions, but I didn't even realize that, wait a minute, if you have an LLC, it doesn't make sense for you to own all of your assets personally, because you don't get the tax deductions, and then also just liability, if there's a lawsuit and all your assets are under your name. So yeah, just check that out. Talk to a CPA, or you can talk more with non-fungible cats. But once you get that LLC going, highly consider owning more of your risky assets. So if you're going to YOLO Doge or one of these crazy assets, own it in the LLC, because even if you lose money, and let's just say you lost 10 grand, you can get that entire deduction against your working income. So let's just say your W-2, you get a $2,000 tax return at the end.
Right now, my focus in terms of the market, I'm a bit different than other people. I'm really focusing on privacy coins. The reason why is, this is counterintuitive to what some might think. While things are becoming more regulated and established and mainstream, people are still going to want to put money under their mattress. And that's where I think things like Monero and Pivx and others are probably going to take up place, especially as Pivx is working on smart contracts. And since Pivx is a privacy staking coin, that can open up some serious DeFi opportunities that are private.
We got another, I don't know if it's going to work or buggy, but Crypto Moonbags. Yeah, Crypto Moonbags. I don't know if you've met him, but another person I love, having on my lives. It's probably bugged.
What's up, buddy?
Okay, so it's working.
How you guys doing? What's up? Happy Wednesday, guys.
So have you seen Chief before? Do you guys know each other? Crypto Moonbags? Have you seen his
Not
content?
much. I'm just recovering, dude. I got super sick. I got COVID, so yeah, I've just been out for like a whole week. But yeah, I'm doing better now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for recovered because I went to a funeral yesterday for a friend who passed.
Oh, sorry to hear
Oh,
that.
sorry about your loss, man.
Yeah. So I'm filling a hole of a friend as well as it's very hard to find physical security guys, and actually my guy for 3 years.
I don't know. Someone's voice is messing up. Is that you, Crypto Moonbags?
Might be.
Yeah, no, it's been super weird. Like this, I still can't taste anything or smell anything. So eating is super weird.
Oh man.
I can imagine. But I gotta get going to get started for the
Yeah, I'll
meeting,
message you my phone number as well, and then I gotta get going too. I gotta get to the gym, so I just wanted to let you guys in.
We'll figure out a time that we can maybe do this once a week because I'm trying to do things a bit more live, and who knows?
And it's your turn to bring guests. I think you met all my these are all the main people I do my live streams with.
Well, we'll make it happen, and then
And you should host
figure
it.
out, yeah, I'm actually looking at eventually doing like a YouTube podcast or something like that. So that's something we can figure out. I was trying to bring some.
Yeah, because if you host this, I have a feeling you'll have over 100 people. It's just because I'm a smaller creator, so it doesn't go. Yeah, so if you become the host and you're doing the hosting, I feel like you'll have a lot more audience involved.
Oh, absolutely, and it'll be a bit more diverse with tech questions.
Yeah, I love it. Okay,
I will talk to you later.
nice talking to you guys. All right, so yeah, I'm ending my live stream as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to everyone soon. All right, YouTube. Bye guys. All right, YouTube. There's no one here. Okay, if there's any questions on YouTube, I would have been answering them. You guys get special treatment, YouTube. All right, bye guys.